people asking questions in the last little while about the astral travel, etheric, out of body, all of that stuff. Journey work, I suppose, or meditation, or it's kind of all the same thing. Dream work. And so I thought I'd just throw this up just to say, if you've got any specific questions about that I might be able to point you in a direction with, throw it in the comments and I'll see what I can do. But it's an interesting thing. Like, a lot of people feel like there's training that they need to do to learn how to do it. There's the, putting the frequencies, the hemisync stuff, the 4 hertz, different frequencies from one ear to the other, sonic drivers like the drum, all these different things, these different tools and techniques. But it's as easy as shutting your eyes. I mean, that's all you have to do. You don't actually have to shut your eyes. You could do it with your eyes open if you were like good at reading 2 books at once or watching 2 screens at once. Like, you could probably do it with your eyes open. I mean, and this is not an out-of-body experience per se, as in your consciousness is going to leave the body on idle and like totally get out and go and do something else. Although you're doing that to some extent, but there's not so much of you getting out that the body's completely unanimated, just sitting there on autopilot. I mean, there's degrees to it. And so that, I mean, yeah, I think you could probably get to a point where you could do that at will, just like shutting your eyes. I'm sure that's totally possible. Where it's kind of like you're in 2 places at once, but you're really physically somewhere else, or as physical as it could be while your body's kind of left behind. But it can be hard on the body. That's quite hard on the body doing that. I think you've probably got to build your way into that a bit. But forget all of that walking through walls and bilocating and just shut your eyes. I mean, you're going to these places when you dream. When you go to sleep at night and you're dreaming, you might not remember your dreams. That's fine. You're still dreaming. You're still going places. You're still doing things. When you daydream, you're going to these places. It's the same. You're just traveling in a slightly different vehicle to an out-of-body experience. It's more of a shamanic journey kind of experience. I mean, these are all just words that miss the mark. All of these words miss the mark, all these phrases, these descriptions. But I mean, the real thing is, why would you want to do it? What are you looking for? Do you just feel like you should, or do you think it could be interesting, or are you like, what's the reason? That's a good question to ask yourself first up. Or are you just interested in what's going on? Like, because there's going out there, but there's going in as well. Like, because that, for me, that's the main reason why you're doing it. Like, and the people who are very I was going to say anti in here. I'm a bit anti in here as well, I've got to say. But the people who are really have a bee in their bonnet about this place, really, well, it's all tainted. Like the astral's stuffed, and so's etheric, and there's no realm you can go to that's not in here. It's all that, and that's totally true. So have you found the doorway out yet? And if you have, would you mind sharing it? Are you going to share it with anyone else so we can verify it, try it for ourselves? You've got a rough game plan that you can walk us through without giving away too many hints. That's the only reason. Like, the only reason you're going out there, like out of body out there, which is actually in here. It's all internal. Doorways inside you, multiple doorways are inside you. Yeah, all those dimensions that you can go to are still in here. like in this construct in here? Of course they are. Like you're looking for a door, you're looking for a key, you're looking for something. Like, or maybe you just want to play the game, that's fine. But like lying in your bed, sitting on your couch going, well, it's all stuffed and I'm just waiting to die. Well, that's one way of doing it. That's not my way. That's a way. I'm more interested in finding that door, or finding the key, and then finding which door it fits. Because there's a lot of pitfalls, and because, like we're saying, out there it's all inverted, just like here is. Like all the dimensions, all the levels, all of the stuff you can get to, it's all in here still. So it's all still part of this system, this complex, this matrix, this framework. And it's all distorted in a way. It's all got an overlay on it. But to me, that doesn't say just sit down and give up. That says to me, well, work out how the overlay works. Work out astrology. Work out social dynamics. Work it out so you can see through it, and then get to the next level, and then work that out and work out how that game's getting played so you can not get played by the game, and then go to the next level. And and so doing the outer body stuff, or the astral stuff, or the whatever, it feels like you're exploring the realm, like it's an exploration out there to see what, and there are layers to that. There is a truth in that. But really, one of the most informative things you can do is shut your eyes and go inward out there. It's the same thing. Go to a space, just take yourself and build it like it's imagination. This is what you're doing, right? We're doing that here all the time. It just doesn't look like we are. You're building things with your beliefs and your imagination, and then other stuff happens around that. So you do that internally, but then like build a little framework, build a spot for yourself, get yourself in a place, shut your eyes, take yourself here, but then just sit there and just wait and see what happens. Because that's when your subconscious will come out to play, and it will insert something to chase you, a bad guy to a good situation. Like these things will come, they'll be magnetized to the situation, whether you're creating them or whether they're coming from outside. Probably the same thing. Who knows? I don't know. But what comes to you is going to be personally specific to you. And if you can just observe it without really interacting with it, it's going to give you a really good indication of what's actually going on in you. Like where your barriers are, where your fears are, where your pitfalls are internally. Because that stuff's hard to find. Excuse me. It's hidden for a reason, like it's buried. It stays alive by hiding itself in you. The traumas, the triggers, all that stuff. They're all in there, but they're hidden, because if they weren't hidden, you'd see them and you'd deal with them. You'd do something about them, because they're not making your life better. So you do something about them. But they're either too painful or they're too hidden, or both. How do you go finding them? Well, close your eyes, go into a daydream. Just take yourself to wherever you like to go. Go into that situation. Just like absolutely daydream yourself into a spot, and then stop. Like just stop the narrative, because you'll do the this and the that, and I'll go over here, and your imagination gets carried away with itself. Your little ego gets involved. It's all, and then stop. Just pull the plug on it and just sit there. Like freeze the whole thing. Freeze the movie mid-frame, and just sit there and wait to see what happens next, because that will give you the clue as to what's actually going on internally at that moment. something pops up, something happens, like that next thing that happens. And it might actually happen externally in the house, in wherever you are, like something will happen to pull you out. That's the interesting bit, right? That's the bit you want to look at. And then go, what was that? What was going on there? Well, I think it was this. I think it was that. Right. Take yourself back again. Do it again. Does the same thing happen? Does the same thing happen in a different way? Like you're being a detective, but you're looking for the clues inside yourself, because there's a lot of junk inside us. There's a lot of distortion. There's a lot of mucked up stuff inside us and all around us. But the clues are there as well. The clues are there in astrology. The clues are there in the tarot cards. The clues are there in the bloody Bible. They're there, right? We've left ourselves clues, but it's hidden in amongst 95% of junk. Junk that will point you in the wrong direction, get you looking the wrong way, upside down, inside out, and backwards. And it's about passing out the couple of percent of clues, not even truth, just clues from the static and the junk and the noise. And that's where the real work is. But like, that's tricky in your waking, moving around day-to-day life, because you've got stuff going on and you've been doing it for years, and there's routines and there's rhythms and there's social contracts, and it's just stuff. But up here, in here, like, because where do you go when you shut your eyes? Do you think you go up here when you shut your eyes? Really? Why don't you go in here? Why don't you go in here? Where are you when you close your eyes? There's a good question. Can you move your point of awareness around when you close your eyes? Are you even in your body when you close your eyes? Like, that's the sort of stuff to play with. That's where the best answers are going to come from, because the answer is going to be different for everyone. That's not, you can only ask a question. The question will apply to everyone, but the answer is going to be different for every single person. It is not I can't give you the answer to that question. They're the best questions to ask. I'm not interested in questions that can be asked where the answer applies to every single person looking at this video, and the however many people that flipped over the top of it or didn't even know it existed. They're not questions that interest me. Questions that interest me are the question where that same one question has a different answer for every single person. Now that is an interesting question, because why is the answer different between me and you? How is the answer different? What does the difference tell us about who we are and where we are? So it's about asking yourself intelligent questions, putting yourself in intelligent internal situations where it's like setting a trap. It's like you're baiting a trap. So close your eyes, get in a daydream, bait the trap. And then, as it's all rolling along, just pause it. And you might feel like it's paused for 5 minutes. It might be excruciating, but just wait. Something's going to pop out of the woodwork somewhere, and then follow that thread and see where it leads. All right. Much love.